Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Stell, last July we held a hearing on predation. At that time, NOAA informed our office that there were no programs in California addressing predation and removing the non-native fish out of our area. I think you could hear from Mr. Costa's concern, not a concern, frustration. We're pissed off. We've got people that are out of jobs. It's affecting our entire community. And it feels like the administration continues to ignore the fact we're struggling through a record drought. And I think most of California believes that we've got a high snowpack, that we've got high water flows coming in, high precipitation, and that this 4 or 5 year drought is somehow going to be over. And yet last month, we pushed out 200,000 acre feet of water in pulse flows without addressing predation, which by your numbers is 97%. We've seen other numbers at 98%. We are losing the endangered species that the administration says we're trying to protect. But at what cost? So last month we released 200,000 acre feet of water. That's 70,000 acres of farmland that will go fallow this year. That's 1,500 jobs that will be lost. In my community, that's 400,000 families, enough water for an entire year for 400,000 families. Now, Mr. LaMalfa just asked about the science behind it. There hasn't been any science behind pulse flows. There hasn't been any reports coming out of your office that shows that it's actually helping to save the population. I mean, the question that Mr. Costa asked is, 10 years from now, are we going to have this issue resolved? Or are we going to suddenly have more salmon in our area? Are we no longer going to have this on the endangered species list? My prediction is no. It'll still be on the endangered species list. We will just have less farmland and less people employed in our area. This administration continues to talk about social justice. Where's the social justice in our area? With the high unemployment, with communities that are being devastated, with the bread lines. This is no longer just a farming issue. This is no longer an issue between Northern California and Southern California. This is a national issue in the breadbasket of the world where people lives are being damaged and people are losing jobs. And we have yet to see anything coming out of your office to address predation in our area. How would you answer that?
Couple of responses, Congressman. First of all, you and your staff have been very constructive in helping fashion a non-federally funded predator control program in the drought legislation pending now, and we appreciate that, and we stand ready to work with you on implementing it. Secondly, we are in fact in the middle of pilot programs to look at predation hotspots, tag fish, and try to quantify the effectiveness of eliminating or reducing those hotspots. So we are in fact trying to implement a pilot program for control and reduction of predation, coupled with monitoring so that we can generate the data so we can make the case to expand the program. So we're in process. More work needs to be done.
I can appreciate the ongoing discussions between your office and mine, and they've been productive conversations. But my frustration goes with the administration. We've had several different bills coming out of this committee now. Jamie Herrera Butler had a bill. I've had a bill on predation. There was a bill on a pilot program dealing with, there's one on CVPIA dealing with the dual fish doubling goals. As you mentioned, we've got a ratepayer financed one dealing with predation. Then why does the administration continue to come out and oppose each of these issues that are actually addressed with sound science? If our goal is to really protect these fish over the people in our community, then shouldn't we at least have the programs in place, the legislation supported by the administration. My question is, how do we get the administration to actually hear our message coming out of this committee that this is an issue, and if we're going to address the endangered species, then we have to address some policies. We would expect them to work with us on those policies, especially when we're dealing with social justice in our community. I think we're out of time, but if you could carry that message back, and I will again follow up with some questions in writing as well.
I will do so, sir.
Thank you. I yield
Okay.
back.